Hey guys, this is Jody with the Whiskey Rebellion Barcast, and guess what? Zoom's got some new updates for us. They just let us know right this second before when I push record. So, guys, everybody, welcome to the show. I'm in my office tonight. It is what it is, but cheers to everybody. What's everybody drinking? And then we'll get to Lil Jon's. You know what? Let's go to Lil Jon first and get what he's going to have in his blind, and then that way you can get started on it. And let me ask you, because we had some complications with this last time. Had the glasses already been pre-shuffled to where you don't know what they are, but they're labeled where you don't know what the labels are, right?
Correct. Yep. So
and we have a master list.
Ashley rearranged it, and it's probably tucked in between her bra somewhere. I'll have to text her for her later.
Okay, I'm sure she's going to appreciate that. Anyhow, so why don't you tell us what you got going on tonight?
So typically, I guess we've been doing a kind of a 5 blind test. I decided to add a 6th one there, but tonight I got Weller Special Reserve, Woodford Weeded, I have Rebel 100, Blade and Bow. We have a Maker's Mark 46 at cast strength. That's about 109. And then Larceny Weeded. So this is the 92 proof. It's not the barrel proof.
So that's all wheats.
All wheats tonight.
Nice. I like that.
What's nice about this one is that no matter where you're at in the nation or even in the UK, these are brands that you're going to see. I mean, so this is something that the average Joe can purchase. These are quality picks that if you like fine bourbon, these are solid picks right here. So the price ranges here are anywhere from $20 to $60. There's nothing on that shelf right there on the first shelf right there over my shoulder that is over $60. So I think it's definitely a reasonable pick for about anybody.
Nice. I dig it. Well, while you're setting up or not setting up, but starting your blind, and then the premise behind it is you're just going to rank them in what order you think are the best. And then if you know which ones are which, that's fine. But at some point, hopefully Ashley will give you the answer key back and we can find out which one was number 1 and which one was number 5.
Okay.
All right. Mao, man, good to see you again.
Yes.
Sending love over there to your place, and you know why, but sending a lot of thoughts.
Sir. Much appreciated. So in honor of John's wheat fest, I am possibly going to kill that bottle of Wilderness Trail Bourbon's 100 proof bottle and bond, which is a wheated whiskey, a wheated bourbon rather. Sorry. Absolutely love this stuff. I'll be sad to see it go, but it is readily available. I can get it over here, as John said. Still not looking forward to finishing that rye either because it's a pick. It's just to go off what John said, $20 to $60 for the shelf there. Not in the UK, dude, but yes, they are available. So yeah, good lineup, and can't wait to see what comes out.
Nice. Cool. Billy, welcome to the show, Cafe 305, man, with the sauce.
Yes.
Florida boy with the sauce. Sorry.
Florida boy with the sauce. So first thing I'm sipping on is some Grand Marnier lemonade. And let me tell you, this stuff is dangerous. And after that, I'm going to be switching to the Noble Oak Rye. So
that was off of your picks last time, the Noble
yes.
Oak, which you hadn't killed that bottle yet. So that's been 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, but everything that I had open for that show, I've been going through it. So it's the Rebel Yell, the Sazerac, the Mictors, the Noble. I mean, the Pikesville. I'm really actually getting quite next to that Pikesville quite a bit. And it was funny because I saw it in Total Wines, and it was like twice the price. I was like, wow, okay, interesting. That was the same day that I took the picture of the Stranahans, which I didn't go back and get because I'm just not a fan of the stuff. Not to the point to where I want to have it like that.
The Diamond Peak, that's some solid stuff, man. It definitely, if you like the cherry taste, that cherry note in the Diamond Peak is one of the best things Jack Frost has ever sent to me or contributed to my life. I mean, nothing. No, I don't mean that in a negative
Yeah,
way.
nothing either way. Yeah, and I
I'm
know
just
you
saying
love your
that was one
cherry
that.
notes.
Yeah, I love cherry notes, and I consider that an honor to have that one. And hopefully one day we'll get him back on the show soon. So that'd be nice.
That'd be cool.
All right, David. Looks like you're having some
Yes.
rye, right?
Yes, this is Riverset Rye, but this is the single barrel that they came out with. I think this is it's been a little while since I've had the regular, but not too long. This is a nice upgrade. It's 5-year-old. This is a rye whiskey. It's 114.9 proof. And you do get a little bit of that heat, but it's not overbearing with it. Like, it doesn't burn you out or anything. It's really nice. Some of the notes are, you get almost like baking spices and bread a little bit. And then on the palate, the thing I get strong is it's almost like a sweet buttery kind of a taste on the front. And then it just mellows out into just sort of a mild, like, rye spice kind of thing. It's really good. I love the mouthfeel on it's the same, I think, as the regular from the single barrel, that it's got that heavier, almost, I've heard it described as an oily mouthfeel. But I really like that, especially in this drink. It's a really nice one. And these guys are out of Memphis, so it's really nice stuff. And this hand selected. Okay, so it's a store pick too. So there you go. I got this at Liquor Planet in Murfreesboro for you guys that are local.
And what's that? What did that bottle run you?
It was like $45.
Oh, okay.
So as far as single barrels go, anyway, like, I mean,
and a store pick.
Affordable. Yeah, and a store pick.
Yeah.
And for all that, and I got it. I'm extremely happy with this. Yeah. So
that's the one out of Memphis. You may have said that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Riverset's out of Memphis. They're BR Distilling Company. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So for me, I actually,
Billy, you might like this, by the way.
I was feeling.
I know you over there looking at it.
I guess I was feeling a little bit nostalgic today, so I was going back, and it was after Lil Jon mentioned that maybe we ought to revisit some of our previous topics and have those as part of our discussion, which we may. But anyway, I opened up one of the older shows, and I immediately went off of the Lucky 7 12-year. Excuse me.
You gonna make it, Chief?
Apparently, I'm gonna die over here talking about it. But anyway, no. Apparently, I just sucked in air or something the wrong way. Who knows? Because I wasn't swallowing anything at that moment. I mean, I just apparently breathing is a challenge after you get past 46. Anyhow, this is a Bardstown. Well, this is where it's made, Bardstown. All right, distilling company. So that would lead a reasonable person to believe that it's made with Bardstown juice. But anyway, it's a 12-year. They have different ones that are made all from the kind of like the movie series. That's what it's supposed to emulate. And this is to hold up, and this is a 100 proof. I will tell you, it's neat going back and listening to my notes in one of the older episodes, and I'll try to link it into this one right here so you can try to hear the differences. It has a lot of spice up front, but it's more of a sweet spice, if that makes any sense, almost as if you're taking a marshmallow. But because of the heat and the barrel in it, it's almost like if you ever stuck a marshmallow over a campfire and it turned all the way, instead of going golden like you want for a s'more, it gets charcoaled, gets brown, black, and it kind of falls apart. It has that, take the marshmallow out, and it has that kind of that hard, I guess that brittle taste that you would have that would be the marshmallow. That's the
marshmallow.
Yeah. So it has kind
Gotcha.
of that smoked, burnt marshmallow taste to it. I dig it. It tastes hotter than it is. I will tell you that. That would be my biggest takeaway from it. It has all the traditional stuff, the vanilla, caramel, all that, but the heated marshmallow taste, or the remnants of a burnt marshmallow, and then for it only to be 100 proof, has a lot more bite than you would anticipate from it. Really like it, but I would tell you that's a short, though it's oily. It has the oily taste that like you were talking about, David, with the Riverset, though it has the oily taste, which would normally lead a reasonable person to believe that it's going to be a longer lasting. It's a short stay. Neither the bite or even the after, or I'd say the finish on it is long. It's very, very short. Both are. So makes you want to, it's almost like you're sitting here going, this, you have the initial boom, it's gone.
Wow.
It's that quick.
That's pretty short then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jody, I got a question for you.
What's that?
You talk about nostalgia. When's the last time you had Blanton's, and were you just as impressed with it as you've been in the past?
Well, the last time I had Blanton's is when I did the blind, and I picked it number 2
Okay.
to Leaper's Fork, which I did that purposely in the blind to see. And put it differently, I put them 2 against each other in the blind purposely because I had made the statement about when I got the Leaper's Fork for the first time, bottle and blind, that I thought it tasted better in Blanton's, and so I wanted to find out if that was true in a blind. Now they have different tastes specifically. I mean, they are not anywhere close to the same notes. You can almost pick them out, but it's definitely. So to answer your question, that was the last time I had it. Do I still love Blanton's? Yeah, I do. I think Blanton's is good, but I don't look for it anymore, man. I don't look for it. I don't really miss it. Like when you have it, I don't open it. Like I mean, that's not true. I have an open bottle of it, but it's probably when I opened it was the day I did the show for it, and was of one of the bottles I have, and. Right. And then that was the last drink I had out of it. And I do really like Blanton's. But if I was going to be fair and be honest, I would take an Eagle Rare every day over just a regular single barrel Blanton's. Yeah. I don't know if that answers your question or not.
No, it does, because I was wondering, because our palates get to taste such a different varieties. Like today I was telling the wife, I go, it's like, man, we got so much alcohol in this house, It's like literally if I wanted to drink something different every day, I probably can go almost 3 months without having the same pour.
I know I can go close to 230 days.
Yeah. So I was just like, Jesus, man. And I just wonder because, again, today I was in the store and I was joking around with the guy. And I go, when you get Blanton's, how much does it normally go for? He's like, oh, no, it's $250. And I was like, what? And of course, that was the jaded side of me being like, dude, I'm not paying $250 for Blanton's.
No, you had yours last time just sent to you.
Yeah. So,
and I could never have, not to interrupt, I could have never tasted Blanton's before. And at $250, I would never taste it. Like, I can't do that. Knowing what the retail is and, other ways of getting even outside of you guys, like that just seems grotesque to me. If somebody wants to pay that, that's fine. Let capitalism do its thing. But like I would be more comfortable never trying Blanton's than ever thinking I was going to pony up that much. And it's not just for Blanton's, probably for pretty much anything. Like,
well, we've seen it this week with the Bell Mead Honey release.
Oh gosh, it's
that was ridiculous.
I was busy, so like, what exactly is going on with that?
I like to know too. Like, I would love to get them on the show and have them tell us what is the secret sauce that you guys are selling it for. So, not that they're selling it, because they're selling it retail, but what I mean by is it immediately floods the secondary, and we're talking about some astronomical prices. Like,
it's
there's
not just the vanilla as well, isn't it? I've read.
Well, the vanilla did jump up to like $750 or so, but it's never topped. It's never topped I've seen $1,100 and $1,200 for that bottle.
And see, that's what's crazy, because I got a bottle of Bell Mead, and the crazy thing is, it's not even open. But I've seen Stag's Junior, I've seen Stag's Senior for $5, and I couldn't. There's no way I would pay anything even remotely close to that for Bell Mead. I'm sorry. I guess everybody has their likes and their dislikes,
and I think that's a fair assessment, because I think you're right. I have a hard time with it too. I don't want to knock anybody that does it, because that may be what they love. That may be their thing, and it may just be one of those things where they want to have it on their shelf because it's the thing of the time right now. And bourbon, like anything else, is only worth what the next person's going to pay for it. Just like that bottle that I picked up this past week or so, which I was hoping to use on this show, but the Kentucky straight bourbon that's finished in the Mezzanark, Japanese Mezzanark, I guess that's how you say it, Masoon.
Is that the thing with the top
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
samurai
M-
helmet or something?
Mizuna cask.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But anyway, it's age 15 years. And then I find out from Chuck, who calls me up, is like, hey, don't open that. I'm like, why? He's like, they only made 650 bottles. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to be a collector. That's not what I bought it for. I bought it for I said, but actually my response was, I know where 4 more are at, or 3 more are at. You want me to just buy? You know what I'm saying? But no. So I'm kind of torn because that's not who I am as a person. I want to try it. You know, allegedly it's made by Bardstown. And I liked some of the Bardstown blends because of the complexities, the conversation you can have about it, you know?
Yeah. Go ahead, David.
I was going to say, yeah, unless you already know that you're planning on flipping it, like.
See, I don't want to flip it. That's the thing.
Get hit by a bus tomorrow. So, you know, maybe you want to wait for a special occasion to open it. Like, I can see that as reasonable, but like, yeah, don't necessarily just sit on it either. Like, there's no point.
I still think my favorite though out there outside of Stag Senior, and that's any year, to be quite honest with you, I like them all. To include 19 drives me crazy when I hear people. I when they tell me I don't like 19 because it's too low proof, I immediately think you're drunk. That's all I think of. Because that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. If you like the taste of it, it's the complexities that you like. Hey, there's Chuck. He's coming on board now. But if you like that, that's what you want. And so that drives me crazy to hear that, because quite honestly, the complexities of them hasn't changed. And actually, after talking to like my friend Greg and a few other people, you know, they're cutting them with things like Weller Special Reserve and making it more where it lasts a little bit longer, because you could literally take any of the Stags Seniors, take a drink of it and talk about it for 30 minutes, and that finish is still there. So that would be one. And then so that's up there. Of course, Eagle Rare 17, 20, 20. And the only reason why I say 2020 is the only one I've ever had. I had the opportunity to buy an under 18, which is only 90 proof. And I couldn't bring myself to purchase that one because I want the 100 or the 101 proof. And that only comes in 18, 19, 20. As of right now, I would imagine 21 will be that as well. But I wasn't there when they do decide to bottle it. So,
yeah. And, you know, before we get back to Lil Jon, you know, I'm thoroughly convinced now that, you know, the producers of all these fine spirits and whatnot, I think they figured out how to corner the market, when to corner it, you know, with whom, you know, and somebody in their offices puts out a little story or drops a little nugget, and it immediately drives the price through the roof. And I think they're sitting back in their comfy leather chairs with cigars in their mouth, just laughing their asses off. Well, I'm thoroughly convinced of that now.
Freaking Baumburgers. That has one of the greatest stories of all time. You know, it was allegedly found in a Kentucky shed, or not shed, but barn. So many barrels, and they tried to. So you're drinking from that barrel, and nobody really knows the years on it. But don't worry about it. We're replicating that process that from everything from it, and there'll be plenty in the future. You know, it's like, huh? No, I don't think that's how it works. And then you find out, like this year for me, I didn't even know it was a Michter's product. You know, I didn't know it until this year. Yeah, had no idea.
Right.
And I was like, so in all reality, that was all puffery. And
but that has a real effect on the market, just like
it does.
Saying. It's no different than like Elon Musk tweeting out something about like, I don't know, like Dogecoin or something like that, and then everybody goes out and they buy it, and and the price gets inflated.
Well, it goes back to my Beyonce and Jay-Z theory, leadership theory.
Well, whatever the case may be, that's just how it works. So.
Yeah.
Chuck, what's up, brother?
What's happening, guys?
So what you drinking?
Not much, man.
Looks like Old Carter again.
Old Carter. I'm basically did a bottle kill on this one, finishing that one off. Then I found myself 3 of these Michter's limited release barrel strength rye.
Nice.
So that's 3 more of those for me. And then I found this one. I'm sorry.
What's the proof on that one?
Oh, this one is 112.8. And then I found this one here today, which is proof in wood, Polish whiskey, aged 7 years. And it's 100% rye from Poland. And it's aged in former bourbon and rye barrels in Bardstown, Kentucky. So this one is one of those deals where I've been looking for this one, haven't seen it on the shelves,
but it might taste like Fossil Creek.
It may.
You could be really
I'm
surprised.
okay with that.
I got to try Jeff's, I think his German rye, whatever, because he talked about it on the show a little while back. I went to that little Nashville bourbon barrel gathering, and I got to taste it. Oh man, it was amazing. It was just very strong, like a whatever style of bread that they make over there. Like, but you got that almost like quasi sourdough spiced bread kind of a thing. Oh, it was really damn good. I was like, if you find another bottle of this, you let me know, because I definitely want one. So,
well, you know the.
I've got high hopes for that one for you then.
Well, this one's manufactured by that company, that Proof and Wood company that does the presidential, senator.
So you better have your vice
ambassador.
grips out to get the top off then.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I don't need the vice grips and the X-Acto knife, but you never know.
Yeah,
Maybe you guys are just weak.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I got that
That's
AAA
what it
straight.
is. Yeah.
Well, see, you had to prove that you were Triple H before the FCC let you back on the internet. So we understand.
Facial recognition.
And I also found one of these today too.
Oh, I love those.
The Woodford
Hey, is it
128.
128.3?
Yes.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was 128.3 or 128.5.
All right,
I
so
remember I discussed that last time.
So Chuck, you officially need to put me on the list for one of those. The next time you get one, grab it for me. I want it.
I can grab you one too.
I thought Jody has one for you. Or
Well, I didn't say I had one.
I'm sorry. I meant you had him on that.
I didn't know I was on that list, but I can make that happen.
Well, one of you two white guys can find it.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I can make it happen or whatever, because I have 3 of them. So.
Billy,
Wow, you got 3 of them?
Billy, check your porch.
Yeah, I'm gonna go sit on the porch right now. I'll be back.
See you in 20 minutes, dude.
But yeah, I can generally find those pretty easy right now as well. So
Can you?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've seen
They're
them.
hard for me to find.
I'll let you know tomorrow, or not. Wait a minute. Tomorrow? No, not tomorrow. I'll let you know Friday.
They pop up occasionally for me, and when I see them, usually it's one of the store owners tells me, "Hey, I got something in the back for you." They don't put these on the shelves.
That's exactly where I found mine at, was on the shelf.
Wow.
I've never seen it in the wild. Here, I've never seen it.
Yeah, me neither.
It's really good. I will tell you though, it has all of the traditional Woodford qualities, but with a hell of a lot more bite on the front, the middle, and the ending. Like it bites all the way through it. It's like going, "Hey, I'm still here, motherfucker."
And you know, another one that I found today, which I know everybody else, you guys will probably say, "Oh, I could find that anywhere," is Four Roses Small Batch Select, which is very difficult to get in Maryland, especially in Northern Maryland on the Pennsylvania and Delaware border. It just doesn't show up here at all, actually. And I had to go to New Jersey in order to get my last one. And I found it in a
Did you come back with your rims on your car still?
Believe it or not, I did. My truck still had 35s on it, and it had its.
If they had spinners though, they've been gone.
I'm not going to go there.
Well, that's because he didn't go below 40 miles an hour and he just grabbed it out the window.
Yeah.
No, they'd seen him get out of the car in those giant hands of his, and he was like, he shuts the door and his hand goes across the entire window.
You guys ever been sent to such a hood liquor store?
Oh, I got one right down the road. I was just talking about the other day.
And you just drive. It's just drive through. They don't let anybody.
Well, I haven't been one of those in a while, but I was talking about what's that called? The Fuzzy Duck? Is that the one that's right there?
Yeah, Fuzzy Duck. Yeah,
and you can tell from outside who it caters to. All right.
You could. I've found some okay things in there.
Oh, I have too.
Like,
I found some stuff with dust on it. Like you guys don't know what it is?
You're in a college. Like I would go to the Fuzzy Duck over a lot of places in Murfreesboro because they cater to college kids, and it's all,
Gonna get you drunk stuff.
and all
Yeah.
this- yeah, basically. But anyway,
Yeah. Well, the one that I find that's one of my favorite, as we'll put it, hood liquor stores, maybe ghetto liquor stores. Is that what term is appropriate?
Hood, don't matter, but it's what it is.
Yeah, there's this one that's right down there, David, off of Nashville Highway, that's owned by, I'm sure, by one of the Patels, and it's an Indian guy. How about that? We'll just put that. It's owned by him, and he it has bars on it and everything, and it's right next to the Coin Laundry place. Like they're connected, the same building.
I know what you're talking about. I know
Yes,
exactly.
I
what
have
you're talking
found.
about.
That's where I found Little John's 12 Weller 12 at.
Yeah, I've found good things in there too.
I have picked
Sure.
up multiple.
But don't
things
judge a
of-
book by don't judge a fuzzy duck by its giant.
As soon as I
duck
walk in,
billboard
Speak.
sign in
if I
front.
walk in and he's there, he'll see me go to the back shelf, and it's nice. It's nice inside the store. Like the bars are there to keep people from taking
Yeah.
the nice stuff.
Yeah.
No, I know. what you're
And so
saying.
you go in there, and it's nice in there. So I go in there, and it's generally the same stuff that's up there, and I'm like, nah. Oh well, it was fun looking. And I'll leave. I'll start to walk out, and he go, hey, what you looking for?
Mhm.
I'm like, you know what I'm looking for. We go
Yep.
through the same song and dance every time I come in here. Why don't you just say, hey, I recognize you. Let's go to the back. And I don't mean to have the Indian accent when I do this. It's just that's how I do it.
I don't know what that is, but it's not an Indian accent.
No, but listen, my first bottle of the Belvini 14,
Mm.
the liquor store, only thing they sold were liquor, cigarettes, and lottery tickets. Those were the only 3 items they had. That was it.
That's it. That's what this story is
I
like.
walked in,
Liquor, lottery.
it was
tickets,
so
and tobacco.
small and so hood. You had to stand one behind each other. There was no room to like stand next to another person. No, you had to stand like
Like a
You couldn't
closet.
pass in,
Crazy.
you couldn't pass in an aisle.
no, you couldn't. It was crazy.
It
And
could be like that George Costanza moment if you had on the big fluffy jacket.
Yeah. so I see
Glad
it
everybody got
in
that.
the corner, and there's all like cigarettes and tater chips and stuff piled around it. So I said, hey, just curiosity, how much is that bottle? He's like, man, I've had the thing forever. He's like, give me $25 and it's yours. I was
You
like,
got Balvini
"Man."
14.
Yeah, I was,
Caribbean.
and I didn't want to seem excited. I was like, all right, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, nice.
That's good.
Yeah, you played the hell out of them.
I'll take it.
I guess,
You know how when they say in poker, when you slow play it, that's what I did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
what's funny is
I'd line the walls in my house with Balvini 14 at $25.
Yes.
since I'm the only one, it's military. No, there's two of us. Lil John can attest to this, but military package stores are essentially, they're hood liquor stores too. I mean, they're essentially the same thing. All right. They have bulk of all of that stuff. Everything from, I'm going to get rid of my entire paycheck on liquor to a few of the top shelf stuff and this, that, and whatever. Okay. But it's all tax free. So it's awesome. But what's funny is you have to, if you find out what days that they get their delivery, you'll see all the old men, all the retired sailors or army people and this, that, whatever. And they're sitting there with their baskets at the door waiting to go. Like they're lined up. It's like a pit crew, like ready to buy the hell out of this. And they would go in there and they would clean that place out. I mean, we're talking about $1,200-$1,300 worth of liquor buying. And I the only reason why I knew it, because I was like, well, maybe I'll come back on one of the days and just see what it's like. And I show up and I just walk up to the door. One of the old guys go, it's not open yet. You need to get back here in line. I'm like, yeah, but they have a thing. If you're in uniform, you get to go to the front. He's like, you need to go to back. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to the back, I guess. I don't know why that is, but you know what I'm talking about, Lil John, that if you're in uniform, you get head of line service. You can go straight to the front. But these old timers, retired guys with their baskets, and they're like, they're canes and all, they're ready to go. Like, only thing keeping them alive is that retirement check and whatever that liquor store has got for them. Man. So,
And listen, if you get away with that, they will suicide your ass.
yeah.
Mhm.
So Jody, is that monthly or weekly or?
What that they have their
Yeah.
It comes, I think it's twice monthly. It's right around paydays. It's right around the 1st
Wow.
and 15th. So like they show up with, I mean, they have booze there all the time,
Mhm.
but like sometimes you'll get some of the, like I picked up, I I might have picked up one of my Blantons there, but I know for sure I picked up a couple of the Weller from there, and also plenty of the Russells, like Rare Breed and all that from on those days. And he's like, yeah, I just happened to ask, like, hey, do you guys get like a special day for delivery? Kind of that's what I ask all my liquor stores. Why wouldn't it be the same for the, for the military package stores? And it is. So they get it, they stock it, and some guys call ahead and ask what they have or what they're expecting to get, and they'll leave it in the box waiting for them up front, like the case, like a pallet. Like I've seen guys go in there, and you know what I'm talking about, Lil John, where they'll come in there and they'll buy like, I don't know how anybody could drink that much beer, but I'll see them go in there with 2 baskets and fill it all the way to the top, both sides, both of them up with beer. And I'm like, oh my God. Like that beer would go rotten. It would spoil before I got to midway
and
through.
I guarantee you,
That's not how beer works, but
those are the
I hear what
same
you're saying.
guys who
It does spoil.
they have.
I mean,
They
yeah,
have as
eventually.
much beer as they have ammo in their house, so it's okay. It works.
I bet they do have as much ammo and beer. As long as they don't live on base, they probably have plenty of ammunition and all that. I mean, they get free healthcare. Their significant other is probably from. Oh, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that at all. That may be borderline.
Just stop. Just stop
Yeah.
right there. Whatever was gonna happen.
Let's get to Lil John before we get canceled.
Yeah, that could get
All right.
canceled.
Y'all want to? We want to start from the bottom.
Yeah, do that. Do it
Yeah.
that way.
So I was actually kind of surprised. Ashley sent me the master list.
We didn't get to see that.
Kind of surprised. So I wasn't surprised at what came in last. I've actually never had it, but my 6th pick is Blade and Bow. I had heard different reviews on it. Some good, mostly it's okay. But this one was Blade and Bow's at 91 proof. What I wrote down on the nose is you kind of get like that a sweet fruit. I don't know if I couldn't necessarily pick out which fruit, but I would definitely say like it wasn't orange, but maybe like a peach probably.
Like a stone fruit.
Yeah. And then on the palate, it had kind of a sweet followed by a little heavier pepper. It reminded me of Woodford Reserve in a way with a little bit of that black pepper. And then it came with a little bit of heat on the finish, but then it smoothed out to be pretty sweet. That's actually came in that's the one that came in last. This one was a little shocking, which was Maker's Mark 46 cast strength. I did kind of pick this out on the front end because of the higher proof being at 106. But that one came in at number 5. I mean, it has your typical Maker's Mark 46 type of both nose, palate, and finish with kind of a sweet like maple syrup and a little bit of that grain that you get from the wheat. On the taste or on the palate, I wrote down a little bit of caramel. I got a little bit of kind of chocolate, followed by some oak, and then it finished out with that sweetness, but heavy on the toasted oak. I was kind of surprised at myself for ranking that one number 5 because I'm a big Maker's Mark fan. Number 4 was Larceny. This is also one that I got wrong. I didn't pick this one out. So Larceny has been kind of my house bourbon for probably about 3 years. It's actually what's in this decanter right behind me. This one's 92 proof. Definitely get like kind of a peach. I tell everybody get a peach pie on the nose. Very sweet, a little bit of cinnamon. The palate, that's where you get into the baking spices. That's why I tell people it's like a peach pie in a cup. And then on the back end, you get a little bit more of the cinnamon, but sweetness from like a honey for larceny. That's what I get. Number 3, Rebel 100. So this is the first time I've had Rebel 100. Sitting at 100 proof, $20. I paid $16.99 for this thing, man. I mean, that's a hell of a deal. On the nose, you definitely get.
I'm sorry, John. Let me interrupt you for a second.
Mhm.
Quick question: that Rebel 100, does that have anything to do with the Rebel Yell by any chance?
It does, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. The reason I asked is because the Rebel Yell was the cheapest one out of my 5 that I did, and it came in number 2.
I believe they took the yell out of it this year
Okay.
I have the
because people were
Rebel-
getting upset about it.
and I have the Rebel Yell age 10 year. And I like it. It's pretty solid. It's a good one.
All right. Go ahead. Sorry, John. Go ahead.
Well, what I liked about this one was I got more of the hay and corn, so which was kind of surprising for me because I picked up on the corn with it being more of a weeded bourbon. But what I got on the palate was very interesting, and I kept going back to it, which is why I was like, I don't know if to rank this one a little bit lower because I didn't know how I felt about it, but it was just very intriguing to me, so I kept going back to it. But on the palate, I got a more of the oak from the barrel, but it was a light leather on the palate, but on the finish, that leather went all the way through. So I got a heavy on the leather on the back end, and it was just very interesting, and I just kept sipping it. Number 2 was Woodford Reserve Wheat, sitting at 90.4 proof. That one's it's 50% wheat. This one I got a little confused with larceny, just on the nose because I picked up on the peach pie, but on the palate I got more of the oak, and then some sweetness like a vanilla or honey, but then on the finish I was like, all right, I think that one's Woodford Reserve because I got that light pepper, black pepper taste on the finish with some oak. But that came in at number 2, and then number 1 was Weller Reserve, which I'm not necessarily surprised about because I really enjoy Weller Reserve. I mean, especially if you can find it. Luckily we have Rob who can find it at MSRP all day long for $24. I mean, to me, this is a hell of a pour. I mean, it's 90 proof, but it's sweet on the nose, sweet on the palate. You get a little bit of heat as it finishes, but then it just turns sweet again. It's just to me, it's a light, refreshing bourbon. So I very much enjoy it. So that's what came in at number 1.
Nice.
Now, see, that's what I find curious because even, I mean, when I did mines, of course, the Michter's 10
mine.
year.
Can't make it more plural or
It's
more
on the-
possessive.
Here we go. Yes, teacher. Let me raise my hand next time. Sorry. But so the Maker's Mark and the Woodford, were they like the 2 most expensive ones in your selection?
So no, Blade and Bow actually runs at. I bought it for $49.99.
Okay.
Maker's Mark, this 46 cast strength, was about $58.
Okay.
I couldn't remember what I had to pay for it, so I looked it up, what MSRP, and it said anywhere from $56 to $58. So those were the 2 most expensive. The Woodford, it's about, I can find it between $29.99 and $35. Depends on where I go in the Nashville market. But so you're not going to pay, I don't think you're going to pay more than $35 for Woodford wheat.
You just got me thinking here, because I should send you a sample of GT Good Times honey, and then we find some other honeys, and we do a blind of the Belmead honey with the GT honey and whatever other honeys we can find out there, and we figure out which one's the best tasting. The reason why I say that is because it goes back to our earlier comments or earlier conversation, about how the market is just here in Nashville is just crazy right now with the Bell Mead honey. I don't even understand it. Like I can't even look at the bottle and go, wow, it's just a pretty bottle. You know, it's like, I just don't, you know, when I look at the BTACs, at least at the end of the day, that bottle is a beautiful bottle, you know, no matter which one you buy. And quite honestly, I would probably say either Eagle Rare or Handy has the prettiest of the bottles of the BTACs. But like, if say you're not Blanton's got, it's a pretty bottle though, you know. It goes back to that whole packaging that we were talking about before, or the Caribou, it's awesome bottle, awesome topper, or that new Japanese one, or not Japanese, but that Kentucky straight bourbon that's from the World Bourbon Society, you know. That's an awesome bottle, you know. But when I look at like the Bell Mead, it's just a standard bottle that has the yellow on it because it's honey. I just don't get it. Like, I mean, like, yeah, that bottle. Yeah, I know. I've seen it. Looks like it's probably had a little bit taken out of it.
Just
Yeah.
a little.
Just a little.
Wee bit of a dent.
Yeah. So I did try it tonight. And then I poured all of y'all's samples to send out in the mail tomorrow. But yeah, it's pretty solid. I'm interested to do a show on it to see what you think.
Let me ask you this, since you've had it, I've never had it. All right. I'm not really, and I like the Good Times cherry, but I'm not a big fan of the Good Times honey. And I'm curious, do you think it's worth what you've seen in the secondary for it?
No, I would never, to be honest, I would never pay more than what I paid for this to pick it up, which was $174.99. You know, I wanted it because I wanted it last year. That was last year was the first year that I heard of them doing the release. Part of my transition into bourbon, my big segue was American Honey. Jack Honey, I think, followed American Honey at some point.
Right.
Those were, you know, how I kind of transitioned, American Honey more so, but how I transitioned into bourbon. And so I actually really enjoy, I'm a big honey fan anyways. I could eat spoons of honey, but so I really just wanted to try it. And, you know, couldn't get it last year, saw what it was going for on the market. I was like, oh God, and hit, you know, no, there's no way. Ashley would divorce me if I spent that much money on a bottle.
Well, that makes that decision easy.
Yeah,
for sure.
Unless you're looking for a divorce. I mean, it's
yeah. But you know, I was excited that I won. But you know, to be honest, you know, Ashley and I were actually talking about as I was pouring all the samples. She was like, "Well, John, you're you know, pretty much giving, you know, about 75% of the bottle away." I was like, "Look," I was like, the guys on the bourbon group, you know, I was like, we're all kind of this community. Like if we all lived in the same city, we'd be all hanging out, like, having like, you know, we'd be grilling out, having beers, you know, bourbon, whatever, you know, but they can't, you know, they necessarily can't get this in their market. I was like, you know, it goes back to that like documentary that I think it's called Neat, you know, it's the guy from Buffalo Trace, you know, said he's like, you know, good bourbon's supposed to be enjoyed and shared by all.
Freddie Johnson.
Like, yeah, Freddie, yeah. And I was like, so I'm actually excited to be able to send this bottle from all over the United States and then send one to the UK. You know, Mal's going to get a sample, and so we're going to, you know, be able to all do a show together, you know, with Bell Mead honey.
Oh, well, then I'll wait until we'll have to wait until Mal receives his.
Yeah. Everything should go out tomorrow. I should have enough time in my schedule tomorrow evening to get them out. But man, it's really good. I mean, 106 proof, you know, because like American Honey is like what 70% or 70 proof or something. It's pretty low.
Yeah.
I think same thing with Jack Honey. I didn't know that. I had to look it up. But 106, man, it's actually pretty interesting. I did let it breathe based on some recommendations that I read about on it. Very, you know, very sweet to the nose. You still get to be honest, I got a little bit of spice on the nose as well. But man, that honey is just, you know, on the palate so good, and on the finish, it's, you know, you still get that honey. it's a good pour, man. So I'm excited to hear what y'all have to say about it.
Yeah, the Jack Honey and the Jack Fire are both 35 volumes, so 70 proof. Yeah.
And listen, if you let the post office tell it, Mel will get his before we get ours.
I just think
you never know.
that goes back to our earlier conversation. We were talking about, I was asking Billy about a package of olive oil that's being sent this way that he mailed the same time as another box of olive oil that arrived like its destination within the time he told me it would be there. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's not here, man. What happened? He goes, I don't know. I'll get back to you on it. But I do got a question about that, about the olive oil, because I've enjoyed, and this is something I want to try to break into our tradition of stuff that we do, is the samples. That's the reason why I sent you the samples that I did, Billy, is because if you like those, I can get those.
Okay.
And that makes it kind of neat for like, you know, do you dig that? You know, what did you think about the high rye straight bourbon, the Redemption?
I was pleasantly surprised by it, actually. It was something that my palate found new and interesting. You know, because we all have our dailies or something that we have often that when it hits our tongue, our brains tell us what we're supposed to taste.
Right.
We've all had Woodford Reserve. So when you see somebody pour that and you taste it, you have a preconceived notion in your head. And it's almost like if somebody tried to pour you something out of that bottle that wasn't that, you would know it instantly.
Right.
So when I tasted it, it was like my brain was like, huh. It separated it from everything else that I had, which was interesting. And the last thing that actually did that was the Lever's Fork that I got from John, you know?
Yeah.
So it was very interesting. And I mean, it didn't last. I mean, I was trying to, you know,
You tried.
tried and failed.
So what I'm hearing is you need some more Bottle and Bond.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you on that.
And it was interesting because last night I was totally swamped with
I need to build a
orders.
list here.
As I was packaging up orders to go out, orders kept coming in. I was like, shit, okay, here we go. So
That's a good thing, though.
no,
Yeah, don't complain about success, dude. You've earned it. You've earned it, and you deserve it. You've earned it, and you deserve it.
Definitely not. No complaints whatsoever. It's a beautiful thing, but it really separated from what my brain thought and what my palate tasted, what my nose encountered. So it was like experiencing it for the first time and not knowing what to expect, but being pleased with it.
See,
you know,
that response that you had to the Redemption was the same response Thomas had. Like, he's a big fan of the Redemption. I'm like, and so is Jay. And I'm like, man, I didn't buy into it. Like, it didn't like, now their Caribbean rum cast. Oh, that's good. I really like that. It had that nice, those nice fruits that you expect, or those sugars that you would normally expect in a rum, but it was kind of like hinted on the bourbon, and that was fantastic. But I wasn't a big fan, and so I bought the bottle because I had to be into the drawing, and then I just never opened it. Yeah, and so that's the reason why I was like,
so no, it was actually very, very, very good.
Well, now, what did you think about the 2 samples I gave you?
The samples were also good. It gave my palate a lot to think about. And when I had them, I just had them by themselves, you know.
Now, what'd you have? I know I sent you Colonel Hunter, which is a Leaper Fork product.
I had it neat, and then I put just a couple of drops of water because I felt like even an ice cube would have been too much, just one single ice cube. But that's the thing about all 3 of them. It was something that my mind didn't know what to expect, my nose or my palate. So it really, really showed me some different versions as to other things that are out there, because of course I love the Noble Oak, but I've been on my rise a lot lately. So it got to the point to where
it almost shocked your palate into appreciation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which made me ask you, Jody, about the blends. You know, do you still feel that same excitement when you taste blends? Benz.
No, I don't. No.
Right. So for me, everybody knows I love
Straight from the barrel. I do.
Right. So everybody knows I'm a Michter fan, stuff like that. So for me, when I taste something that I'm used to tasting and then I have something that I've never had, it's like fireworks, something different, something new,
Nice.
Was that the first time that you had the Michter's Rye last week, Billy?
It had been a long time before I had it, but when I opened it on the show, that bottle was unopened. Yeah.
Was that the 10-year, Billy?
Yes,
so you
that
had the
was,
10 year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that came from the
I mean-
Godfather. So,
Now, what was the other one? What was the other sample I sent you? I forgot.
let me see. I don't even know where I put the bottles. Oh, Jesus Christ. They're somewhere around.
I can't remember what I sent you.
Over here. But listen, all of it was good though. Everything was really good. And like it made me almost think about, should I go a week without having a drink, maybe?
And then what did you slap yourself then?
I did. It
Okay.
actually hurt quite a bit because it was like, no, stupid. What are you doing? So that's not gonna work. But
I don't start cleaning out my system till hockey's over.
listen, I'm worried about the Panthers, but we'll see what happens.
I'm worried about the Preds. I mean, golly, over the weekend they had a double overtime on Friday that they won. They had a double overtime on Sunday, which they won, and then they went to a overtime last night, which they lost. And it was kind of controversial. It's neither here or there. They should have won it in regulation, to be honest with you. But they're now down 3-2, but it's coming home, and they're playing tomorrow night at 8:30. So I mean, which is fortunate for me because I don't work Fridays, so I will be able to stay up the entire night watching that. And if it's anything like the previous ones, it may be the entire night.
Yeah. So, and I think the Panthers have to beat the Lightning three straight times, and I don't think that's gonna happen. But as long as it's a good game, I'll be happy. But yeah, it was just all the everything that I received was really, really good. And it just made me think, I need to get into more stuff, different stuff. And unfortunately, sometimes here where I'm at in Miami, you can find a lot of the same stuff, and some of the hard to find stuff you can, you build those relationships with. But like today, I got the Eagle Rare only because it was $36 with tax plus tax, so it was like $40. And I mean, I got the big one, and I got 4 little ones, 3 regulars, and I got the store pick. So am I good on Eagle Rare? Yes. But if I see another one at that price point, will I buy it? Yes. If one of you guys say, hey, listen, I need a bottle of Eagle Rare, you don't have to wait. It's ready to go,
Olive oil en route.
Olive oil en route. Here's another thing that's interesting. We talk about everything that's going on in the market with this Bell Mead and how I feel like everything's a setup. I don't know if anybody remember a few years back when the Enzo Ferrari came out. It was like the hottest Ferrari. Everybody had to have it.
I'm not into those kind of cars, but
yeah,
I mean, if you want to talk about trucks, I might be able to add something to this conversation.
It didn't matter how much money you had. The only way you could buy the Enzo Ferrari, you've had to have in your possession a Daytona and the F40. So
wow.
they
GT40.
Right. They made it so if you didn't have these two cars, you went looking for them. And then once you got the Enzo, you couldn't sell it for 5 years.
They were allocated Ferraris.
That's essentially what it was. But they stirred up the pot.
You had to spend enough money at our store before we'll give you one.
That's funny. So they're Tariq.
The Ferrari
so Tariq was selling Ferraris.
So, but
basically, yes.
it was such a thing that people wanted the Enzo so bad that if you didn't have these other 2 Ferraris, you went out and bought them. So you went to dealers, you traded for them, whatever. And then for a manufacturer to tell you, even if you get this car, you can't sell it for 5 years.
I'm sorry, I just have to interject. If you can afford 3 Ferraris, I don't want to ever hear you complain about anything ever to me.
No, absolutely not.
ever.
It's like if somebody told Jody, okay, if you want Eagle Rare 17, you have to have A, B, C, and D. And if he had all but one, I'm sure he would do whatever he could to find that other one. And then they'll give him Eagle Rare 17 for like $600. I think he'd do it. I know I would if I wanted something.
I would if it was 18, 19, or 20 for sure.
Right.
Probably.
But it's like these lotteries. You pay the price of the bottle if you win, but you have to buy this, this, and this to get into it.
Right.
So you want that prize so much that you're not even guaranteed to win it, but you still have to spend some money just to be a part of it. So that's why I feel like the market is being controlled and these guys are all sitting back laughing to the bank. And I'm not mad at them, it's free enterprise, but
it's the demand curve. It's supply demand curve. When you talk about to the consumer, now from the manufacturer, they're producing what they have. And I think they're playing it smart, because if they were to put too much in, it's a risk to put too much into the market, because if they were, they can have two very adverse effects could affect them. One is, what happens if the market takes a dive, which is what's been predicted. All right. And then people don't have the disposable income to turn around and buy Eagle Rare 17. Now you're sitting on, I don't know how many barrels they have, but let's just say for the purposes of this math equation, 20 barrels, you're going to eat that. And that's all of that cost and production. Now, granted, you could still let it age, and it could be in a few years, 10 years, whatever, can be an Eagle Rare, 23 year, and it's going to sell like crazy. So you could still do that. So that they do have some capital in that, in the owner's equity aspect of it, but because they already own it. But where you have to look at it from a different perspective is the cost of running business. They can't take losses to be a successful business. That's the reason why BT Buffalo Trace owns just about everybody, or Sazerac, Sazerac owns just about everybody too. So,
and I understand that. Trust me, I do. It's like, I'll tell you guys. Listen, this thing is a Yeti. Everybody knows these things are not cheap. Do I make money on it? I'll tell you yes, but will I tell you it's less than $3 that I make on it? Absolutely.
But it's
so
cool.
It's
cool. Still a slick looking cup, man.
It's a good promotional piece. You could use it for cold drinks, hot drinks. So I'm not worried about that. But there's other parts of my business where the profit margin is so much more.
Yep.
Had it been a little bit more, I would have been like, no, I'm out, because it's just not worth it. I'm not gonna take an L on it,
No, and I wouldn't either, but like that's a little billboard for you, because when you get another batch in, like I want one, and like I'm gonna take that to work with me with my coffee, like and everyone's going to see Cafe 305. That's kind of how
coffee.
Yeah, exactly, coffee.
This was crazy though. The second batch, half of it is already sold, so
that's wild.
People are into it.
Hey. Who does it? First of all, who doesn't like
profit margin when you're selling more? That works too.
Yeah. But hey, guys,
can we get tiny little shitty stickers for them?
If you guys notice, I've taken the shitty out of our links because they haven't really responded to me recently. So
I've seen that.
Okay, yeah.
They need to show up.
Yeah. So, and I didn't want anything from them. I just wanted that we had parallel stories, that started kind of off the same idea, same little niche, But anyway, guys, always fun. I enjoyed that. Hey, Lil John, you did a fantastic job of giving your descriptions and ranking that blind. Thank Ashley for mixing it all up and keeping.
I'm kind of glad. Sorry to cut you off, Jody. I'm kind of pleased that the Weller Special Reserve came out on top, if I'm being completely honest with you, because it does get bashed.
Yeah, and I'm one of those people that bash it. Yeah, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm one of those people that bash it. I don't personally like it. However, I'm thinking about reaching out to Rob and saying, hey, can you hook me up with a bottle? I'm sorry, of some olive oil because of the simple fact that I've heard two things about it that I enjoyed. One is Lil Jon's ranking on it, but then also cutting it cutting Stag Senior with it. And I'm curious if you can cut. I don't know why you couldn't cut Stag Junior with it also.
Yeah.
You know, which Stag Junior I like, but I wouldn't put it up there in the top 5 or even top 10. Probably it's a good one, but it's not interesting enough like Stag is. You know, and another one that gets bashed all the time that we need to maybe do a show on sometime is Bardstown. I don't understand that. I really don't. It's not a daily drinker, but I'm gonna tell you what, it is freaking good.
Bottle killed this one
There you go.
right.
Yeah, I
just a
watched you
moment
do that
ago.
earlier. Yeah.
And that was what, Jody, in my LP gas induced stupor last week when I did the 5.
I don't remember what you ranked it. Well,
Was it number 3 or 4?
Yeah, it was actually either 3 or 4. Yeah, it wasn't. I actually made a comment about that. It wasn't as high as I thought it would be. It was right. It was right after Stellum. Stellum was your last one.
Yeah.
And see, that's what's crazy. It seemed like in all our blinds so far, stuff that's cheaper and easier to get for some reason are starting to come out on top.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe our 4 viewers, they'll understand that and they'll take that and go, you know what? Maybe I had to buy the cheaper stuff. But hey, guys, always fun. Always enjoy it. So cheers to everyone, and everybody be careful, be safe.
Cheers.
Cheers to Mal's new job.
What's your name? What? What is your name? Tony!